everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. Today we're going to take a look at this cathedral that I built here. A simmer did leave a message about 3-4 weeks ago asking me to build a church. I did everything I could to look for that message, so at least I could give a shout out to whoever it was, but I wasn't able to find it, so I'm really sorry. But because of that request, I went on to build a cathedral instead, because I felt it was a bit more grand and it was a bit more of a challenge. As you can see, I've placed my idea of pinnacles at the top of this cathedral using the glitch method that exists within the game. I also wanted to place a lot of statues around, and you would find that in Italy or in Rome, most of the cathedrals have tons of statues all around, cherubs, winged creatures, Mary, the mother of Jesus, and so many other fabulous, sculpted pieces around. And that's what I wanted to do in the front here. The other thing I did was create my own idea of blossoming trees, just to do something different. Now in The Sims 4, you can actually use the Control-Shift-C option to manipulate objects and raise them, placing them in areas of the build that they wouldn't naturally go. And that's simply what I've been able to do by using the glitch method in the game. As long as it exists in the game, I would use it, but if it doesn't, I would not hack or do anything like that that would damage my device. So that's something to think about. Now, I wanted a dome for a roof, but I couldn't do that. That's impossible. So I created this round roof instead, and gave it a different color. Now, attached to the roof, as you can see here, I have these 1x1 pillars with different statues in and out and in between. And then further down, I have a collection of windows that look like stained glass. Now, we'll see much of that when we get in, but out back I've created a very simple garden, but it's elegant, and I have another build back here. You'd have to assume that the bell that gongs periodically is in the top of this particular structure. And I have a number of toddlers in there, presumably admiring the imaginary bell. I think it'll be quite loud when it goes off, so I think that's a bad idea. Now, I wanted to make this garden arrangement curved in keeping with the round theme that I've got going in the build structure here, as you can see on the roof. I have a sim that's just come out the cathedral with a baby who probably has been screaming her lungs out, and because of the acoustics in the build, that cry would have been so loud the mum would have had to come out and calm the baby out by the garden here. Look at that. Oh, that's a lovely picture. Anyway, I could have put a lot more things into the garden, but I wanted it to be a bit formal. Now, as you can see, the three sides on the left and the right and the back are the same, with the pillar structures and the statues in and out of the openings, except for the build structure in front, which is a lot higher than the rest of the structure by one floor, just to further accentuate the grand feature to this cathedral. It also means that that structure is separate from the rest of the building, and so there's a patio feature inside. Hence, I had to build this on a DIY mansion template, which has a special patio paving perfectly matching the tan Scandinavian interior flooring. You have to walk through either of these sets of archways to come into the open patio space where we have seating for the worshippers. Now, this is what it looks like from this point. You have to come in from either or the left or the right side, past these fleur pedestals, into this open space right here. So I've used the red rugs, although they've got stripes on them. It's the closest thing I could find to a red runway. But it leads right up to the pulpit here. And this is why I wanted it to be an indoor-outdoor space. I love the brickwork for an interior feature, and it's just really nice, because all cathedrals that I know of certainly have a lot of stone and marble work within the features of the archways and the stone pillars. It's just something I try to replicate here, as you can see. So these seats, for instance, are obviously outdoor garden chairs, but because they are outside on a patio, I just pop them down here. But obviously, past the archways, where you can see other Sims tucked in, those are indoor spaces. So I had to place them in there by glitching. This sundial that I placed beside the lady with the baby is supposed to be a memorial plaque in some way, so it would be a feature that probably would have been placed there by a very important person to this cathedral, say in the 1900s or something like that. Now as I pull away, you get a better view of the round interior to the dome that I've created. All that's missing is a round dome-like roof, and that would be perfect. You never know, it might come to Sims FreePlay. Some new kind of roofing event. Well, this is another platform for the Sims to sit and take part in the service. Behind that platform we have the confessionals. I'll show you how we get up here, but you can see a Sim would sit on one side and the priest on the inside, and a confessional would take place for a few minutes. Father, this is the second time I've confessed since I was born. Anyway, we have another angle here as well, so he could work from any part of the confessional room. But up here we have a camera that has a good view of the service as well. And I did think that I could have put seats on the other sides, on the left and right, but I thought it'd be too crowded. And if you choose to build it, you might want to do that, but no, I thought it was fine just to have seats here. Now through this angle, when you come through this corridor up those stairs, there's an open space before the restroom, perhaps for the ladies, and it's the same thing replicated on the other side for the men, right there. Now, cathedrals appear to have a lot of wasted space. They have very high archways, very high roofs, with a lot of extra room, like you see here, with seemingly no particular use. But the thing is, on the contrary, it's intentionally built that way in order to create a sacramental feeling or an atmosphere. It's beautiful, it's complex, it's mysterious. The acoustics as well are incredible. And when you walk in, the first thing you do is you look upwards or heavenwards because of the magnificent space above you and the fantastic sculptures of the saints. So, you know, in gazing upwards, you're somehow inspired to pray. I, on the other hand, when walking into a beautiful acoustic space like this, I'm inspired to sing. I love singing. It's my preferred position in a gathering like this. Thank you so much for watching.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. I once was blind, but